Hey guys, so it is Friday morning. What's today? It's the 30th.
Okay, 2 more days of the year.
2 more days of the year. And this is Gail, if you already don't know her. And she was, when did we film our last morning chat?
Oh, I was 5 months pregnant.
5 months
May,
pregnant.
so 7 months ago.
7 months ago.
In Korea, and now we're in China.
We're in China.
Right now.
And we're on the floor of Gail's bathroom. So much has happened since you guys last saw Gail on the morning chat. Do you want to tell us in a nutshell? I don't know if you...
Oh, elevator speech?
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute.
You get 3.
Oh, I get 3.
You deserve 3.
Okay. On July 11th, I packed suitcases for my family to live out of for 4 kids. I was 6 months pregnant and packed them in Korea and came to China for 3 weeks. And I went for my checkup, oh goodness, Jenn, 34-week checkup with the baby. And the doctors here, a really good clinic, I'm not gonna say names, but they said that my baby had CDH.
That's what it was
which
called.
is a hole in the diaphragm, and that babies with this, and it was a really large hole in the diaphragm, which is right here, that babies that are born with that have a 50% chance of living, and the life they have is a struggle. So for any viewers who know someone who has gone through this or has had babies, I mean, my heart really, I only experienced, I'll tell you, but so I want to be sensitive, but so the doctor pulled me aside and said, you can't have this baby in China, like you need to go back to the States for the healthcare and everything. But my husband had to work here, so we bought tickets, and in 2 days, I mean, sobbing, this is just, my whole world has been rocked. Got on a plane with my 4 kids and came back, 30-hour travel day, and the next morning woke up and had my first doctor's appointment in Annapolis with a specialist. And they told me that there was nothing wrong with my baby.
Except she had a lot of hair.
I can, this is the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. I like get goosebumps every time I talk about it. I don't know, Jenn, I still don't know why it happened that I had to be there. So now I'm in the States, right? The husband is in China. I have the 4 kids. I can't go back. That was like horrendous. 30 hours traveling with that many kids and that pregnant. They won't even let me.
And you said you'd already buried May in your mind.
Chad and I talked about like what we would do because he wouldn't have been with me, what we would do, and it was horrible. And now I am so grateful that I know that they think the baby's healthy, but they don't know. You don't really know till you see it and hold it, and you know the whole thing. My mind can't wrap around it, and I end up living the next 2 months, 2.5 months out of those suitcases in my brother's basement with five kids, to be 5 kids. And I don't know why. Again, I had great conversations. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. I cried a lot. It was horrible and wonderful at the same time. It stretched me, my year stretched. And then Chad flew in, and he's like, can you please wait until September 26th to have the baby? And I was like, sure, what do you give me? He's like, yeah, and he's like, I'm like, I really want like a scooter, like a Vespa. Like I really want to ride around on it and like have like no kids and just be on a scooter driving around China. And he was like so scared because the roads are scary. He's like, fine, if you wait until September 26th to have this baby, I will buy you a scooter. So it was midnight on September 26th and I started having contractions. I was like, go time, like let's do this, let's get there. I'm like 9 centimeters, so we get to the hospital, they're not taking me seriously. I'm like,
they think it's her first birth.
I'm like, this is my 5th baby. They're like, we need a pee sample. I'm like, I just peed on your floor. Like, this is transition. I'm like having this baby. And so the baby comes out and Jenn, she's fine. I still can't get over it.
Perfect.
She's perfect. So whether it's a doctor's mistake or a miracle, I'll never know which, but I will take it either way. And I'm so happy at this point. Still living in suitcases, still in a basement with 5 kids, but it's okay. And it was November 2nd, so literally 5 months later,
it's Brenton's birthday.
Oh, is it really?
I came back.
Oh, and we came back, and we're here in China, and our entire shipment from Korea was moldy. So all my furniture, my baby cribs, my mattress, the clothes I saved from my 7-year-old baby girl and had a boy and I couldn't use it, had a boy couldn't use it. I saved all of her baby clothes, like ruined and like So this has been a year of stretch and growth, and I'm still trying to like figure out all the gold that was nuggets that I learned, and I've been crying a lot. So it's yeah. So and I have no friends. I'm in China. I have no friends, and Jen's coming to visit me, and my heart is just like I have a friend coming. Like I have somebody who's going to talk to me, I just like this. You coming to visit.
And I had no idea all of this was going on, Gail. Like like these past few months,
we haven't talked. I have no talk. I never.
Gail hates technology, and that's okay. Like that's been like foundational for our friendship. I don't email her because getting long emails is a burden. Because then she feels. And here's the thing. Like I've known that chill and Gat again.
It's good.
They have a crazy life here. Brandon and I just love sitting in front of them, hearing all the stories about their kids. But this is the first time that we are experiencing it firsthand. What it looks like morning to night. And I say this, and I get up at like 9 a.m. But Gail's been up at like 5:30, and it's just nonstop until the kids go to bed. And all the stories that we've been hearing, they've come to life, and it's just Brandon and I have been just so fascinated. I don't know what other word to use for that, but with all that goes on with her, it is impossible for her to get like a minute alone to respond to an email. So now that I like fully know this, I'm like, I can see why if people reach out to you all the time, like it must be a burden. It's like I want to respond, but I just can't. And so
you try, and on cue, every child starts screaming.
I know,
it is like,
and then she gets, and it's
I
like
get mad.
Yeah, because like she starts the draft and she can't. So it's been very given. Like I think about Gail like every day, and I feel like I'm always talking about you. I'm always thinking about you. But it's okay that I don't want to be another. I don't want to be another factor of stress for you. So it's like I think about her, I pray about her, and then we see each other, and it's like nothing ever. But I had no idea. Like the last. Like 6 months, 5 months has just been, she said it's been the worst time of her entire life. But I want you to talk about why you think it happened this year, because what did you ask God
for? Don't ever do this. So, now I'm going to ask you good questions. You all know that Jenn is like the best question asker. So anytime I'm around her, like I have like a post-it in my head, like ask Jenn a question next, like get a question ready, because she's like, ask me this and this, and I'm talking about myself and myself.
In you.
I know, but I'm like ask Jenn a question. So I really practice. But no, it was 2016, and I'm such a control freak. Like I have like books for each of my 5 children with every picture like I've ever taken. I just love it. I like just getting in there and just like doing it all perfectly. But you just start to like get wound like really tight. And I feel like I was like this, and I was like, I think I might have a control issue. It's like maybe 2016 would be a year that like God could work on control with me. Harmless enough. Yeah. Maybe I don't scrapbook as much. Okay.
Oh, you're so cute. If that's what you thought.
It was.
You're not gonna make scrapbooks.
I mean, I might not get my Christmas cards out like 3 weeks early. And so I was like, yeah, like God, like go for that for me, because I'm perfect otherwise. And just kidding. Huge, just kidding. And then Chad's like, I think we're gonna move to China. I'm like, cool. And I'm pregnant. That's fine. I can do it. Let's do this. I'm like, let's do this. And then like starting from that time of about July 11th for 5 months, every time I got up, I got knocked on my ass. Like every time. I'm doing okay, and I try to like get control of my situation in the basement, and then it's just like I can't. I'm not very good at thinking of everything that happened, but yeah. And so then I just stayed on the floor. I'm like, God, I get it. I get it a little bit. I don't know what you're trying to teach me, but I realized I could be happy there. I realized in complete chaos, in complete mess. Oh my God, mess! Like you won't believe. I can be happy. I can be okay. And before that in my life, when my room is a chaos, when my house is a chaos, when the kids have like snot nose, like I hate snot nose kids. Like I don't want my kids to be those kids. And poop. God, poop pushes me over the edge. I'm like, is that chocolate or is that poop? I need to know right now, and I need to know how many fingers, how far it's spread. But now I'm like, my personality, Ben, is OCD. I prefer to be super clean and organized.
She cleans like 11 times every like 10 minutes.
It's not joking.
Like, I'm not exaggerating. I wish I was. You turn around, it's like beautiful. Her living room and dining room, you would think she has no children. And then like I'll go to the bathroom and come back and there's just stuff everywhere. Like artwork and crafts, and then like I leave again.
Jen's running homeschool. While I'm walking out of the room, she has them doing art crafts and she's teaching them games. Like her inner teacher is like just manifesting. My dining room table is like 500 crafts. I absolutely love it. I can't even do that. I'm like, yes, you do that. And I was telling Chad today or yesterday, I was like, our kids are going to be better kids for having Jenn and Brandon in their life. And that's like the biggest compliment, like putting people in your kids' lives that are going to impact them positively and like add something different, because Jenn is the antithesis of me, right? Like,
no,
yeah, in so many ways, like an Apple Watch, I'm like, if you strap this to my, I would feel like I was, what are those things they put on
a tracker?
Yes! I'm like, why you can get a hold of me everywhere. I would have a panic attack.
This would be, if I hated you, this would be the perfect
You would get that gift, yeah. No, you and Brandon and my husband Chad all have it, and they all sit around the living room and they're all like,
hey Siri.
I'm like, Siri. I know. Last night they all were on their phones and my daughter was still up and I was just sitting there looking at all of them because I don't want to be on my phone. And my daughter's like, yeah, they're all on phones, Mom. I'm like, I know. But they were having, it was fun. It was fun. They were playing with Siri. But what was I saying? I don't even know.
Having people around that impacts your kids.
Yes. Because I think as a parent, you give them all that you can, but we're all so different, have so many strengths that our weaknesses, like other people can fill in, and putting those people in, they want to be, like she actually likes being around my kids. I don't like being around other people's kids, like just like,
them.
The kids like it takes a lot for me to be okay, to be, I think you're special. I think.
Oh, Gail.
No, I'm impressed. So anyway, I was apprehensive about you guys coming this week because you're going to see the level of insanity. And I was worried that I wouldn't get this time together. I was like, Chad, like, I want time with Jenn. Like, I want our time. Like, I want alone time with Jenn. I want coffee with Jenn alone. I want to, like, go to a spa alone with Jenn. I want to eat a meal alone with Jenn. I don't want to share it with my kids. This is me talking to my daughter last night. She goes, I'm like, I'm going to go have alone time with Jenn and Mr. Brandon and Daddy. And she's like, how come you get Miss Jenn all to yourself? And I was like, she's my friend. She was so upset. And then her and Noah are playing. She's like, come on, Noah, let's go see what Miss Jenn is doing. And they like skip down the stairs to see what Miss Jenn is doing. So the impact is huge on them, and I couldn't be happier. But I was scared that we wouldn't have this time. So here we are in this time, sitting on the bathroom, baby's downstairs.
There's one right outside.
Yeah, sleeping still. And we're gonna look beautiful at the end of this, right? We do put on makeup. Stop. No. We're doing it. We have my hot pot. This is my refiller. It's just water.
Carrying it around.
Yeah, I do. My happy moments because it doesn't stay hot, because you like run off and play with children and then you pour more water. Good trick.
I want this time for you guys to like just get Gail's brain picked at, because last night we ended up talking for hours, the four of us, like all sprawled out in the living room, and we've had just those are my favorite kind of nights, like those conversations that we have. And Gail has so much knowledge and she enjoys sharing it, right? Because for me, I feel like, okay, she has to be annoyed because I'm asking her so many questions. I want to know how she does everything, how she deals with so many different things. We were talking about how we each battle depression and anxiety, and yeah, I feel like it just opened up to so many things. And the funny thing is, I thought I slept so well last night after our talk, and Brandon said I was cursing a lot in my sleep. And I woke up, I'm like, I feel great.
Super potty mouth.
I have no idea what we dreamt about, but the thing that I asked Gail yesterday was how you find joy in every day. Because I feel like in Gail's situation, if I was in Gail's situation, it would be so easy to complain, right? Like living in a foreign country. Because for me, like, although I am a foreigner in Korea, it's not that foreign because I know the language, my parents are Korean, etc. But for Gail, like to be in China, removed from her parents, she has 7 siblings, and she's here she has a nanny who doesn't speak a lick of English, but is just so sweet. And so she has another adult around, but you can't really communicate.
Get talked to.
And you just have 5 kids that are taken from you, right? And every turn, like Gail the other day, yesterday, she had 2 kids strapped to her. She was making breakfast. She was going out to get Audrey's cup to get her more water. And it's just like, I feel like she has 2 little baby seats attached to her hips, because there's always like someone sitting here and someone sitting here, or someone on your back. And I'm like, Gail, how do you find joy every day? Can you tell me how you find
I can tell you, but it just makes me sound really weird.
No.
So I said, I want to win at life. And you know, in my mind, I'm so weird, you know you're winning when it's like a little painful. Like that point when you're like, go for a run and it's right around the 4-minute mark or something. You're like, this is so stupid. But you just push it to get to the 12-minute mark, and then it starts to feel good. But there's like a level of like uncomfort, just pain, a little bit of pain, not too much, but and so when I'm pushed to the max of myself, I know I'm winning. I know I'm growing. I know the minute I am like left to my own devices, I just nitpick myself. I'm like, oh, let me see. Oh, I could be usually physically flawed. Like I'm like, oh my God, my pregnancy mask is so bad. And you know, maybe I need to like actually cut my hair or something. But it just becomes so not helpful to the world or anything. I get so inner focused. So when I keep adding things to the fire, like children, which we're done, by the way. There's no more kids in our future because I can't handle it. Then I know I'm winning, and I want to win at life, and I don't need to be comfortable or perfect. Or anything like that. I just, like, it might be a stretch to read the kids a book right now, but if I can get that knowledge in their head, I feel like I won. So I go for the stretch, and it's so hard, and I leave it all on the field, and I think that's what winning is, the experience of changing and growing and pain, a little bit of pain, a little discomfort at all times, and then you can look back, and this is my huge thing, is a fear of regret. I can look back and say, I have no regrets. Like, I left it all out on the field. Like, people are like, oh, don't you want a 6? I'm like, 5 was my push. 5 was like my stretch. I stretched, I'm at my max, I did it. This is it. This is me leaving it on the field. And so I find joy in knowing that in my mind, my definition of winning is what I'm doing, and that comforts me enough to keep going. And I also know it's not forever. It's 5 kids wiping all those butts and cutting 100 toenails and fingernails. I'm like, Jen, you want to see 100 digits being cut? And I'm just like sitting there like cutting toenails and fingernails and like wiping like faces and noses and Gail spa. I'm like, Jen, you're meeting next.
Spa de Gail?
Yeah.
Like, next, get in here.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. But I know it won't last forever, and then I'll be bored. Doing this with Jen, and then doing something else. I don't know. You know I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm a crazy person.
But you are, like, I always tell Gail, I'm like, you have to be a certain level of crazy to be who you are right now. Otherwise, I don't think most people can handle it. And the thing is, like, the other night you asked me and Brandon, like, so after having spent all this time with us, do you guys still want kids? We're like, we want 4. And they're like, wow. Okay.
We're doing right.
We're like in the thick of it, you know. It's no longer just like an idea of, oh, it must be nice to have a big family, but like, what does it really look like or feel like, or like just watching you guys juggle that, and then all the little moments, like Gail and Chad, they know each of their kids so well, and they're all so different. So they don't ever treat everyone the same way. I mean, they're fair, but then they know how to love them in the way that it translates. It's kind of like the love language thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So for each one, like Gail's like, I know what he needs, I know what she needs, and she.
I think this is all quotations. I know.
You're not allowed to talk right
Jen.
now. No, but seriously, like Gail has just blown me away. I honestly feel like I haven't gotten to really know you until this week. Like, I knew you, but I didn't like really know you. And like every conversation I've had with you, I feel like I've cried, and it's like I don't even want to put on my stupid makeup, but it still kills me to know that you went through all of that by yourself, and you see her and she's sunshine. She's joy. She's so positive, and she still has so much to give. Like, even now with all the kids, I'm like, yo, I want to film this video with you. She just abandoned it all to come sit on the bathroom floor with me. Oh my gosh. And like, I don't know when we'll get this time again, you know, but I know that when it happens, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing, and we'll have more to share later. But
I love you. I love you.
I don't even know where this is
I love you so much right now.
So yesterday we made a really cool discovery, and we were talking about after Gail finding the joy, right? I asked her, I don't even know how we got to talking, but I was telling Gail that something that I've been really struggling with is dealing with anxiety. Like I didn't know that I had it this bad. We're gonna start putting on makeup because then I have to give myself a reason not to cry.
So this is my makeup bag. It's really a Ziploc baggie.
Okay,
so ridiculous.
So we're going to get ready. But anxiety, oh my gosh. Okay.
Are we using this or using the mirror?
I'm gonna use a mirror.
Okay.
You can't. You would use.
I would have tried. I would have gotten my nose up all in there. Worry.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Anxiety. So I was telling Gail that something that I became really aware of recently was the anxiety that I feel when I'm doing something that keeps me from being present because I'm always worried about the next thing.
Yeah.
Like for example, I was telling Gail, like let's say I'm teaching a student, and the entire time that I'm teaching my student, I'm thinking about the video that I have to film tomorrow. And I know that when I show up to film the video tomorrow, I'm gonna give it my best and I'm going to prep for it and I'm going to be really thorough and I'm going to enjoy the editing process. Like I know all this, but when I think about filming the video, right? And it's not like a life and death thing.
Did you burp? No, that's my jaw popping. I looked in the mirror and I was like, that's the beginning of TMJ, which is not funny or something to joke about.
I think
Jen.
Sandra had
Be
that
sensitive.
too. She was saying, I know. Yeah, I just feel so much anxiety. Like I'm just constantly
like the real kind,
fearful.
where like you can't breathe.
Like your chest kind of. It's not as far as like okay, I can't fully breathe or my chest closes up, but it's definitely. Yeah, I feel kind of paralyzed. And so what I recently did, like for the past week or so, is I changed the wallpaper on my phone. I don't know how I came up with this, but I wrote, I am here now, and I know I deliver with excellence. So
say it again, Jen. Say it again.
I am here now, and I deliver with excellence. So every time I feel anxious, like I look over and I know, okay, I'm here right now, and in this moment I have to be present because I'm teaching the student. This is my responsibility right now, and when it comes time to do the video, I'm gonna do my damn best. And so there's that worry isn't going to make anything better. And I know, like I said, the video thing is not life or death, but I'm like this with everything. And I was telling Gail yesterday, and actually the night before, the four of us were talking, and I totally like burst out crying. Whenever Chad, especially Chad, you too, but whenever Chad asks me a question about like the deeper stuff, like I cry immediately. He has this effect. He totally has this effect where we were talking about something that Brandon and I fight about. And I don't think it's anything that I've ever shared here. Along the same vein with the anxiety thing, Brandon and I, whenever we get into some of our like the nastiest fights, it's because if he's out at a certain time, if he's out past a certain time, usually like 10 p.m., and I can't get in touch with him or I don't know exactly what he's doing, I feel so anxious to the point where he'll come home and we'll have the worst blowout. Because in Brandon's mind, it's like, what do you think I'm out doing? Do you think I'm out cheating on you?
And he's not.
And he's not. And I know this in my heart. But then, because Brandon knows that he's not doing anything wrong, when I flip out on him, it just becomes more black and white for him. And he won't sit there and be like, babe, I would never cheat on you. I love you. He doesn't give me that. He's just like, yeah. I was out just banging girls. Like, he'll say that, and I will.
No.
He has said that. And I will just go crazy. And
Jen.
these are some of the fights that we have. And so Chad was, what did he ask? He like went there.
Well, we were talking about how in your childhood, you can look back and see things that you've been struggling with like your entire life.
Yeah.
And they just got a hold on you when you were younger, and you just kind of latched on to worry or fear of rejection or control. I have to control my environment.
Yeah, that's me. Oh my God. I have to know exactly what's going on at all times. And we're talking about the anxiety thing, and I was telling Gail that when I was younger, like middle school,
I didn't know this, by the way.
You know what? I didn't make the connection until yesterday. But
yeah, that's for real.
In middle school, I would, miss out on certain days in school, or I would get pulled out of school because I wouldn't be able to breathe, and I would start panicking, and my parents had to take me to the emergency room a few times, and they kept testing me for asthma or like some breathing disability, and they kept saying like nothing's wrong with her. And I didn't realize until like recently as a grown-up, I was like, man, maybe what I had were panic attacks or anxiety attacks.
Stress physically affecting your body.
Yeah, and I had no idea. My parents had no idea.
Stress is for real.
It really is. And it messed me up because, like, even the stupidest thing, I remember 7th grade, I had to make this poster for Spanish class. And, like, the whole week leading up to it, I was so stressed out about it that, like, I would feel my chest closing in, and I just felt like I was going to die. And I'd go to the hospital, and I'd stay home from school, and nothing was wrong. But it never, ever, ever occurred to us. Anyway, so all the nasty fights that Brendan and I have been having at night, anytime he's out and I don't know who he's with or what he's doing, that's that demon coming back to me. And I didn't know that was a thing that I had with me and I was carrying for 30 years. So I remember one time Brandon was like, I'm sorry, like, did we have a system in place that I could help you? So yeah, like, what do you want from me, And I think he was like, maybe we need to talk about it. It's not like we ever discuss the details, but you always get mad at me. And I said, fine. And I totally was being like a sarcastic bee about this, but I was like, fine. Starting at 10 o'clock every hour, like, I want you to check in with me. And he's like, I'm not going to give that to you now, because the way that I asked. And I totally, fully understand. But then once we made up and later on, he was like, if that's what you need and if I can help you that way, I'll shoot you a text message and I'll let you know what I'm doing so you're not like in my dark place, right? As we called it. What Chad was saying, he was like, at the end of the day, Brandon shouldn't have to check in with you like that. And I know that. And it's something that I need to deal with. And instead of Brandon thinking of it as a chore, like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I have to check in. Oh, it's 11, I have to check in with Jen. It's more like you love your wife. And you're fighting for her. Was that what he said?
Yes.
It's like you're fighting. Oh,
you want to be
so much
her
better.
champion. Like this has been something that she has struggled with since she was like a young girl, which made me think of like Audrey. If Audrey was struggling with this, what would I say to Audrey? And I would just, and I wouldn't say this to just anybody. And I told that Jen, I'm like, if I didn't love you so much, I wouldn't put this out there, but I want to help you with this. And if you were my daughter and I saw the worry and the anxiety and the stress and the effect it was having on your body with breathing and maybe other things that we which we were talking about. Stress is real and it really does affect your body. And I just want to be like, you are a child of God. You are perfectly made and you are okay and you are loved. Like, I just wanted to be like, not there, but like a mother's heart, like just pick you up and just like, don't worry. And since I've memorized the whole Bible, I know I don't, but there are a few that are a good one. But be anxious in nothing, but in everything make your requests known before God, and the God that loves you and created you. All these things, I'm nailing the scripture.
So
will give you the desires of your heart, and to hold on to that. And
no, it's so good, because what Chad said was, he was like, Brandon checking in with you shouldn't be the task or chore of doing that, like, because that's not sustainable,
right? And
that's not going to make Brandon feel
and
good.
It's not the details that if he checked in with you he needs to recognize that is something you have been fighting against your entire life, and he needs to fight with you. Like, he's your husband. He needs to champion for you in this area, being like proactive, and he would want to do that for you. He would be the last person in the world that would want to hurt you, and he would want to protect you from this. If you, like, instead of being like, no, you have to, do this and this, be like, no, be my defender in this. Like when you leave the house, before you leave the house, just be like, babe, like, you have nothing, like speak to that, speak to the worry, like, because it's gonna come up, and that every thought that comes into Jen's head is not like necessarily her own. She doesn't have to own it. It's just gonna be coming there because that's like something she fights against, which is worry. I mean, And the heart, like him to take the heart of it with you, not like the like.
Right. So while he's out, not like, oh, I have to check with her, but it's like my wife is at home and she could be struggling
with
right
this.
now. It's like,
yeah.
F you, I'm gonna
like take care of her little heart. Like, oh my goodness.
And that totally changed the perspective for us because then it didn't become about
who's right or wrong, how many times they have to communicate.
You had a good point. You're like, probably every single time, you're both right.
Yeah.
We're both right, but we're not seeing eye to eye because of either the approach or, Brandon's
stuck in the
very
details.
emotional, yeah.
And I studied conflict and mediation in college. And but I had a professor that would say in an argument, you need to like reframe it, take out the emotion and reframe it and come up with a common ground. So like they are on the same team. They love each other and decide to marry each other and they're on the same team. So what they're trying to do is make their marriage work by setting up the rules or whatever. But if it's not working, they need to go pare it down and go back to like, okay, we love each other. We're on the same team.
What else? They spoke so much wisdom into us last night. And Chad said, you both said, like if a lie comes into my head, like Brandon's out and he's with people and you don't know what he's doing. And so instead of letting that feed you, like you take that thought captive and you say, wait, no, I know my husband. He's not out trying to hurt me. Like you, and you chase it out. And it's a muscle. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, and like every single thought that comes in, you take it captive and you speak truth over it, and then you dismiss it.
You recognize it for what it is, because like I don't feel like things we fight are very creative. It's like the same thing. Like,
always.
Like always the same lie. And eventually one day you're like, oh my gosh, like I am so sick of this like getting me down all the time. It's like the same phrase. Like you're not worth it, or you're ugly, or you're this, or it's like I'm this. And finally you just get mad enough at him, like I'm not gonna let that happen anymore. This is enough. And then you kind of get mad, and then it loses its control or something.
Yeah, so it's taking power away from that. Right?
Exactly.
And I honestly
talking about it helps too.
Yes, because I didn't know how bad it was for me until I said it out loud yesterday. I'm like, yeah, I worry. I know I've always worried my whole life, and then
I can't breathe sometimes. I'm like, Jenn.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Ever since I was little, I didn't go into the emergency room. She's like, Jenn, that's serious.
It's more than a little worry.
And I think at some points, at least 2 or 3 people have asked me to talk about anxiety, and I'm like, I don't know how to speak to that because sometimes I'm anxious, but like I don't think I really understand anxiety. But as I was talking to you yesterday, I'm like, holy crap, this has been with me my entire life. I've always been so anxious. And Chad did say that some level of it is healthy because that's what makes me strive for excellence.
It drives you.
It drives
in
me.
your gut, that anxiety.
But I was thinking, like, I need a better balance. Like, I need it to motivate me and keep me on the top of my game. But I really need to. I can't let it like consume and control me.
Take away your joy.
Chad was saying too, there are things that he struggles with, and it took 12 years.
Chad, get in here. We need to bring Chad into this. Chad and Brandon sit behind us.
He's so good, and I just really appreciated what I'm trying to do right now with taking every thought captive and then dismissing it. 12 years, and he's finally learning. Like, nope, that's not it anymore. And that's so cool because it's not just words that are coming out of his mouth, but it's like actual application that he's sharing with me, and it's also very God-centered, and yeah, I felt so free, and that's why I'm like, Gail, I slept really well last night. But Brenda said I was like cursing a lot in my sleep.
Which is so funny. Jen's like the sweetest looking cute little person you've ever seen in your life, and then she's like,
I'm telling you disgusting
total spitfire. Actually, I was like, don't get on her bad side, or don't mess with one of my kids because she will.
I will push it.
No.
It's been so good. And oh my gosh, you guys, so Gail's bedroom is on the 2nd floor of this house. We're staying in the guest room on the 1st floor, but I packed my bag to come for our morning chat. Look what she got me for Christmas.
Good one.
Look, she got me this little wooden
before
box.
We talked about the worry.
Yes. This was the first night we were here. We talked about the anxiety thing last night, but she got me this little wooden box, and it says, pray more, worry less. And if you open this up, this is a prayer box. Did I say that like 5 times already? And in here it says, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It says, when your head starts to worry and your mind just can't rest, put your prayers down on paper and let God do the rest. I feel like that's a poem you and Audrey would write for me.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
And Gail was mad that this wasn't like a dainty little gold pen. And she's like, I can't believe the dumb purple lead pencil. There's a little lead pencil in here. And I'm like, Gail, what if there's not enough paper in here for all of my worries? Oh, like this is so...
So Jen, it's so you.
I'm going to keep this next to my bed and I'm going to use it.
I bought that in the States and carried it all the way to China so I can give it to her so she can use it in Korea.
Like, how did you even know? Like, this is like the theme of what I was struggling with.
By the way, Jen showed me this last night as this came off the back. She's like, it's a sharpener. I'm like, what do you mean it's a sharpener? She's like, yeah, they're on the back of the pencils. I'm like, I had no idea. Genius. I always wondered. I'm like, I always just get so... I'm not an airhead. I just...
You're the farthest thing from an airhead. But
I do some stupid stuff sometimes.
You have other priorities than wondering how to sharpen your eyelash pencil. You know what I was thinking last night was I just felt peace after a conversation because I thought, I really feel that God has so much work to do in me before I can have a baby. And I think this anxiety thing is a huge one.
I think it is, especially with the way it affects your body. I think it'll like work. It's the same time you're ready to have kids, your body will be ready, and it'll happen because there won't be the stress. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no. And I totally feel this way too. Like, I feel like God's like, give this to me. I have something greater for you. You know what picture I think of? This is so cheesy, but I saw this picture once where there's Jesus is standing in front of this little girl, and she's like asking him for the teddy bear in his hand. It's like this tiny little teddy bear. And she's like asking him for it, but behind him, he has this huge teddy bear that she can't see. And he's trying to take this away so he can give her this. And I feel like that's me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, give me this. I want this. You know I want this. Why won't you give it to me? But there's so much that needs to be done. I think this is a huge area that needs to be conquered and surrendered before I can lead someone else in my life. I'm like totally guinea pigging on Gail's kids.
They love you. What we said about that last night, and I got this from somebody else, my big brother, who I stayed with forever, 2 months. But he's had some trauma in his life too. But he comes out of it on the other side pretty whole, and he just says now, I pray like I want something. Like I want a baby, or I want my baby to be healthy. I didn't want my baby to have CDH, but at the end of the day, I believe that the God who created this whole universe knows better than me, and I want whatever he wants, whatever he knows is best for me. So like back to we talked a lot about God, but it's like, I mean, his will be done. Like I pray, like I want heal my baby inside of me, like giving me a baby, like, but ultimately, I don't want to take a step down this path if it's not what you have for me, because you have the best plan for me. And I can't understand why this year happened the way it did, or why Jen's not pregnant when I've been praying for her and my sister Joy, both the two of them, my people aren't pregnant, and I don't know why, but it's going to happen. And I trust God knows best for us, because if I don't, then like I'm just flailing around in this universe trying to do the best, banging my head against the wall. So that's what I choose to believe, and I don't know, it's peaceful, exactly that.
It's very peaceful. And you know, at church last week, Gail, I saw a quote or something that Pastor Joel put up, and it said something like, peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the presence of God in the chaos, or something like that.
That's really
so
good.
It doesn't mean like, yes, I can lie back, nothing's wrong, but it's like in the midst of all that crap, you're still like, I'm okay, I'm taken care of.
So I'm excited. We were talking, I'm like, I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for you to identify worry to what Jenn Rogers would be like, with like half the worry that she currently has. Like, and I'm excited for a year that doesn't like push me to my utter max. Like 2017 is gonna be awesome, right? Yeah? It's gonna be amazing. Really good. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. I think we need to go take care of your kids.
Yes.
But thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for letting me come on again. This makes me feel like a grown-up and like a person all at the same time.
So anyway, thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye. From China.
Signing off from China.